welcome aboard to this episode of the We Are Reading One Piece podcast. This is a podcast dedicated to following the entire story of One Piece from beginning to end as we focus on each volume. We keep the discussion spoiler-free for new fans of the series, so this is the perfect place to follow along, whether you're new to the series or just want to revisit the world of One Piece with us. This week, we will be covering the first part of Volume 78, Champion of Evil, which covers chapters 776 through 780. My name is Joel. I'll be your host. Joining me today, we have Evan.
What's up?
And we have Cody.
The champion is here. The champion of evil.
I wonder who that could be.
Evil.
It's like an X-Men, the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. It's like very on the nose.
Mm,
So yeah, we know we're evil. We're just going to call ourselves evil.
yeah.
Own it.
So before we do dive in, let's get a little recap from where we left things off. I'm just going to read a portion of the summary at the beginning of the volume. The group infiltrates the kingdom of Dressrosa in an attempt to set up Doflamingo, but Law is abducted after falling into a trap. The rest of the crew meets a one-legged toy soldier who informs them of the nation's hidden darkness, and they decide to help the little Tantatas in their fight for freedom. As their companions hold off the Don Quixote family, Luffy and Law face off in a direct battle against Doflamingo. There, the past that ties Law, Corazon, and Doflamingo together is revealed. Law fights back against Doflamingo to fulfill Corazon's wishes, but his arm gets chopped off. Meanwhile, the forces of Luffy's army emerge triumphant, one by one. Only a few foes remain.
Luffy's army, let's go. Like the sound of that.
So leading the charge. Okay, so we're going to start off with the next part of the cover story. We have the solitary journey of Jinbei, First Son of the Sea, Volume 21, The Beast's Misunderstanding. When the sea beasts woke up from their sleep, they noticed their homes were missing. When they saw the ruins removed to the land, they assumed the people moved them and took out their rage on their ships.
Connecting the dots.
What a silly mishap.
Yeah, I feel like Oda has been kind of cheating a little bit with these cover stories by having like multiple panels in a way where like he had to do this like Watsume 2, and now he's from the sea where it's like a 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can see like a sequence. So it really does help fill a lot more information when you see it like play out this way. Because like normally it's like being drip fed every cover story segment, but it's like one page at a time. But this kind of gives you like a big idea of like what's going on when we see it kind of play out this way. Not complaining. I just think it's interesting that he's been kind of deviating with this cover story.
Definitely breaking the pattern.
Yeah.
This makes a lot of sense. This explains why the sea beasts got so mad and started attacking ships. They thought the people took their house. Okay, let's move into the chapter.
Oda's getting. No, I was just say, I love like how many different sea beasts there are. The fact there's a sea pig, hilarious. A sea lamb, great. Keep it going.
Yeah, they're all different. Well, we have like the big cat over here, but yeah, for the most part, like all these animals are different versions of animals that just have to be fish forms. So like like regular animals, just fish versions of them.
Lions, tigers, and pigs.
Okay, moving into the chapter 776, Hero of the Coliseum. With Senior Pink defeated, Frankie let the Tantados loose to destroy the Smile Factory, a symbol of the suffering they endured. Kairos and Diamante continue their battle at Flower Hill. Diamante uses his powers to give form to firework launchers that had been flattened. Then he launches confetti into the air. The confetti reverts as well, which turn out to be spiked metal balls. Robin quickly gathers plants to create an umbrella over her and Rebecca, though Kairos assures her he'll be fine. Kairos impressively manages to deflect the raining spike balls, but Diamante shoots him in the leg, causing him to fall while the spikes continue to rain down. Determined to protect Rebecca, Kairos charges forward. Diamante manages to hold his own, but Kairos proves he is the superior warrior as he slashes down his opponent. Okay, thoughts on this battle?
Let's go, Kiros. What a character. I feel like he displays like superhuman grit and determination. And I feel like he's also kind of symbolic of all of Dressrosa fighting back and resilient.
Yeah.
And talk about like willpower. Like he's running on like pure willpower. Like I feel like he might not be the strongest, but he's the most resolute.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely strong too,
Oh yeah,
but yeah, it is his determination that's like the feature that I think that really pushed him through this fight.
totally.
And they do reiterate like just the difficulties that anyone would have in this battle with the terrain, with the endurance necessary. But the fact that he is doing it on one leg speaks even more to his prowess.
Yeah,
Yep. I think Diamante is like kind of the opposite, where he's like pompous and like toying with his victim here, and I think it kind of like ultimately leads to his undoing, like kind of his arrogance here, which I mean is very like Don Quixote of him. I feel like that arrogance that we see with Doflamingo kind of also resides in his followers.
yeah. And here he's trying to get the leg up on Kairos by using like, these tactics. It's where it's like he's keeping the distance with the metal spike balls raining on them. He tries to shoot him in the leg from a distance, so he's like not really trying to give Kairos a chance to like close the gap. So he's using these techniques to try to get the upper hand, but to prevent Kairos from being able to defeat him. Like understandably so, but it's like the tactics that he's using does feel a bit more. It's like he's trying to make sure that they're not like on a level playing field.
Right.
He's trying to get the edge
Mm.
by having these little things that he uses to get the advantage.
Hmm.
Also, he's willing to do this to also attack, Rebecca and Robin to an extent as well. But it's more so to distract Kairos to be like, hey, you also need to worry about your your daughter. So he's also trying to distract Kairos in that way. So it's not again not just like a one-on-one fight.
Yeah, I do think Oda nails the sadism, does nail like just the dishonorableness. I'm forgetting the correct conjugation of Diamante here. I do kind of wish like we got more from him leading up to the fight. Like we have the basics, we have all the details we need to like to be against him as an antagonist. Just knowing how much we got from Rebecca and Kiros, like the end of this chapter, it is cathartic. It's very hype. Diamante is one of those characters where I'm like, oh, I see like all these elements, and I would have liked to have more. But it's also Dressrosa where there is just so much. There is only so much that Oda can give us per
Right.
chapter per character at this point.
So what I'm hearing is
So
you want a Diamante backstory. You want a flashback.
I don't even know if I want a flashback. I think I just like want more
No, I'm
interactions with him,
kidding.
honestly. Yeah,
Yeah. No, I
yeah. I
get
mean,
where you're coming
I'd
from.
take it.
Yeah.
I mean, this is right off Senor Pink. Like, come on,
Yeah, right.
you're gonna fight. Honestly, actually, that's just unfair. Anything that follows Senor Pink is it's gonna be lackluster in my book. So
Yeah.
like, that's Diamante slander. That's on me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
He's not as deep
But
as
we
a
do get like
character.
yeah, yeah. We do get little breadcrumbs of like you think you can be the champion forever. And I feel like there could be that like thematic, like old versus new, and the fact that they're like the ones coming in and usurping the kingdom there. Or maybe there's just some textual stuff that I'm missing in this read. But it's cool like seeing there are some more elements of Diamante that could be mined further.
Yeah.
Need to see that it's there at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Diamante plays himself up as like this false hero, and then in contrast, we have Kiros, who is like true hero, like doesn't care about titles, like is mostly just trying to protect Rebecca and free his people.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, like that false modesty that we've seen from him before, early on, like one of our first like scenes with Diamante, where Doflamingo would say something and then he'd be like, "Oh no, it's okay." But he's like, "Yeah, but you're like the best warrior we have at the Coliseum." He's like, "Oh, well, if you insist," like he had like that kind of like quality where he was like he kind of wanted that praise a little bit. So I think he has that
Yeah,
ego. So yeah, I think it definitely plays into what you're saying.
and the pageantry of everything as well, which we kind of see again is like a Don Quixote follower treat. Everyone's kind of got some pageantry.
Yeah. I do like the use of his powers in this chapter. Like, I think it was cool to see different creative ways that he is using his fruit.
Yep.
Because on this is like the great thing about Oda is like when you have something on paper, it's like a very simple concept of a fruit, but then the application is like so creative. It's like I would have never thought of that. So
Hmm.
yeah, so he has like these paper versions
Mm.
of these like the firework launchers, and he's shooting up these quote unquote confetti, and it comes down, and he turns into is actually spiked metal balls. So when it falls on you, it hurts. So Robin thankfully was able to make this flower umbrella to protect them, but Kairos uh, decides to close the gap, and he's deflecting falling metal balls, which is really cool. And Diamond is like, what? Are you telling me this guy can like deflect like raindrops? Like it's almost like the same thing because like how much is like falling down on him.
Hmm.
So I think it's really cool like to show like Kairos' skill in this situation too. That he's able to deflect that many.
But then he stops. Like, what a power move. He's like, I'm wasting time. I need to like attack. He's like, I've waited too long. I can't wait another minute.
Yeah.
And then he finally breaks through Diamante's defenses here, and such a satisfying page. This whole page with like basically no text is incredible.
Oh yeah. So the
Very
sequence when
satisfying.
he gets like the last slash in.
Yeah, the last full page of the chapter.
Oh yeah.
He gets the slash in, breaking through Diamante's sword,
Yeah, really
landing a
cool.
blow. Yeah, so cool. And we get like all the reaction shots, and yeah, just like a very dynamic page.
Yeah.
Big fan.
Like the
So
emotions really
satisfying.
come through.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know we've been talking about this how there's been some criticism about Kairos not letting Rebecca fight her own battles, but we do get again more of Kairos's point of view on this, where he says, like, "You fought in the Coliseum, and yet you did not harm others. Your hands are still beautiful and pristine. The soul of your mother, Scarlet, still resides in those hands. So there's no need for you to stain them now with the blood of this miscreant." So again, he's trying to spare his daughter from having to fight. It's not that he thinks that she's incapable. I think it's him just not wanting her to go down the same path that he did in the past, and he wants a better life for her, it's like a life of peace where like you don't have to, fight for your life. Like you can live
Hmm.
this life of peace. Like I'm going to do this for you. Let me take this burden, and
Yeah.
I'm going to protect you, so that way you can live your life.
Yeah. And it's just so powerful after knowing his backstory and being like that like forced emotional distance he had from Rebecca for so long, and like finally being able to like act on it finally.
Yeah,
Very rewarding.
right. And the fact that he's also recognizing that the pain, he says the pain is proof of my humanity. So having to endure like the past 10 years as a tin soldier, he missed out on having a human body. So the fact that he can feel this pain now, like, is like, in a way, it's reminding him of his humanity and that he's a person and he has like this flesh. And it's a way that, he can fight through this. But yeah, he's like, he's always appreciating the fact that now he's back to being human. He's going to take advantage of this opportunity and see it through to the end. Okay. Do you have anything else in this one?
The feeling, the pain metaphor reminds me of like when we go back to the East Coast and it's like fall and it's like, aren't you cold? It's like I need to experience the chilly weather. Remember my humanity.
I mean, I do like the line. I like pain to prove my humanity. This does feel very cathartic for Kairos. I do. It feels like a very good culmination of his arc. For me, it's that it doesn't feel like as much of a culmination for Rebecca, regardless of the fact that everything Kairos says is it's very well tied together. The through line of the why for this decision makes perfect sense. Just for me, from a what I get, like as far as gratification from Rebecca getting to culminate in something when she has been a pretty active participant so far, it just feels unfinished to me more than anything. It feels like she didn't it feels like her presence in this fight doesn't the outcome wouldn't have changed whether she was there or not, I feel like. And again, if I'm missing something, please let me know. Maybe it is the fact that Kairos had to protect in order to be a hero. Maybe that is the piece of it that's there. But I feel like there's been like plenty of motivation for Kairos to go through this fight anyway. Even if it could have been just Rebecca is there in Dressrosa, I feel like he still would have had the motivation there, and his durability, his endurance feels pretty external to that. At the same time, I do see that the fact that it is Kairos wanting his daughter to have a better life, I do feel like that statement fits very well within like these, and I forget if I've made this point before, fits into those themes of One Piece being an intergenerational story. Things we've seen like with Fishman Island about like Otohime versus and Shirahoshi and like Arlong and Hody, the fact that like these conflicts they do get passed down in people who don't deserve to deal with them are the ones who get forced to deal with them so often. It is nice to see someone from a previous generation trying to take it out of the other person's hands. I think it's that I think the part for me that like again, it doesn't even ruin it for me, but like the part that just makes it a little harder for me to get behind it is that it feels like the person in the new generation doesn't have a choice as to whether they get to participate in it. And so for me, it's like I'm not mad at any one character. I don't think anyone's wrong for it. It just feels like it hits one target for me, but doesn't hit the target as hard for me as far as it fulfilling for me. It's still a great end to the fight. Again, like visually, I think the composition panels in this chapter are also like gorgeous. I think some of the way Orla frames stuff, the way he emphasizes certain moments, amazing. I think Diamante's powers are so well used. And this is probably like an A tier, maybe S tier moment conclusion in like so many other stories. But within One Piece, it feels like I feel like saying B tier about something in One Piece is slander. You know what I mean?
I get you saying it's a comparative.
But
Like,
compared to all the other yeah, but compared to like all the other A tier moments, it doesn't rank quite as high for me.
okay,
I'm
like,
with you on
Even
that.
if I do like it a lot.
yeah, okay.
I'm with you on that. And I feel like it's something we kind of have been talking about leading up to this point. And I think, like you mentioned, the willpower and the will of Kyros being handed down to Rebecca. And I feel like the thing is, it's like protection versus agency. Like in this case, Rebecca like completely loses her agency. And I feel like I wish she had kept that instead of it becoming protection from Kyros.
See, like I have a different take because I think this is more of like an inverse of the passing the torch to the next generation. I think this is not passing the burden to the next generation. It's like let me take care of this battle, so it's not passed down to you. Like you're not fighting my battles now. Like I think this is something that shouldn't be passed down. Where like it's not like Kairos is like trying to train the next generation of warriors and wants Rebecca to follow in his footsteps. It's not that. He's like, I don't want you to do the same thing that I did. I want you to have a different life than what I had to experience. I don't think this is meant to be Rebecca's battle. I think it was always meant to be Kairos' battle, and he's the one that had to directly experience the loss of Scarlet. He was there at the moment, and he was forgotten about. So I think this is Kairos's trauma, and yes, it was Rebecca's trauma as well. But that's why this is also cathartic for her because she doesn't have to have the burden of fighting for this. It's something that she can now have that relief to be like it's over. But it's not a battle that she was supposed to take on because it's being passed down from her father. It's something that like he's trying to stop before it has to get to Rebecca. So I think that's like, the significance that Rebecca doesn't have to pick up the battle. Like Rebecca can be a passive participant or observer to this moment and does not have to actively fight for revenge or it's try to get some kind of closure. It's something that she can experience because her father is willing to do that for her.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm not arguing with any of that. It
right.
just
There's two targets, and that target was hit. I think that was a bullseye. I think like that point was made really clearly. I just don't get that same conclusion for Rebecca's arc that I do for Kyros's arc. And I realize they're intertwined, but
and
I do
guys,
think like oh
Because for
god.
me, it would be a detraction if Rebecca had to fight or this was Rebecca's moment to win. I think that would detract from her character and like her story and her journey. I think the point is that she doesn't have to go down the same path. Like she gets to choose a different path now. She's not forced down this one road that like it seemed like she might have to go down. She can now choose a different path and she can choose a path of peace.
right. So for me, it's not that she didn't fight. It's that she didn't. It's that her presence felt extraneous to me. And I think you made a really good point just now about maybe it's not even Rebecca's moment. It's Kiros's moment. It's Kiros's struggle. It's just that maybe I'm just having trouble putting it into words. But I also don't think that like for me, like Rebecca fighting wouldn't necessarily have been the thing to satisfy me with it. It could have even. I think there could be like there's a difference between fighting and protecting, right?
Hmm.
There's a difference between fighting and helping. There's even a difference between standing there and having Robin protect you versus just saying I don't want to fight. And I feel like just like her like having any involvement, like it felt like it didn't feel like a conversation characteristically between Rebecca and Kyros. It felt like it was just Kyros.
Yeah, which I think is the
And I
point.
think that's the part that doesn't sit as right with me.
Okay.
And
So
I
like
guess I just don't like it.
so would you prefer like Rebecca to fight side by side with Kairos in the battle? Like is that would that have worked better for you? Like, I'm not sure what the alternative is at that point.
I guess not even her fighting. I guess just it felt like there was no like real discussion between her and Kiros. It just felt like there wasn't like any moment between the two of them that like made it worth her being there for me.
Yeah, I feel like
Even
Kira's
if
taught her
like
to like
and I
stand
don't
on
I
her
don't
2 feet.
no, you go.
I was gonna say I feel like Kira's built her up to stand on her 2 feet and gave her this agency over her own future, and it feels like she kind of just relinquished that completely with that. I don't know. She like went from being able to stand up and defend for herself to like damsel in distress, where she was just kind of like again a passive character throughout the climax of this arc. And again, like you
And
were
this
saying, I don't think she needs to fight or anything. I think she just needs to play more of an active participant. Like she needs to participate in some way, verbally or otherwise.
Yeah. And for me, like, I don't know like what the best solution would have been. That's why I'm not the one writing One Piece. I'm not gonna say I'll write a better story than Oda. I guess for me, and this is something I need to actually check. And I think this is my problem with like again me. I guess maybe being a little fuzzy on the Diamante stuff is that like this arc is so fucking long, and we've been reading it for how many months now that there are certain parts I'm
Good for
like, did that happen the way I remembered it?
you.
Right?
Hmm.
Like there
Totally.
were like when Rebecca was going to fight, but I want to check. Please let me know if I'm remembering this incorrectly. When Rebecca was about to go fight in the Coliseum, weren't her and like Kyros like kind of arguing about it for a second? Didn't he say don't do it? She was like, no, I have to.
Yes. Yeah,
Yes.
he didn't want
And
her
so I
he didn't
feel
want her to
like
fight in the Coliseum.
right. And I feel like for this, like there was conflict there. And now but it doesn't feel like it was resolved. It feels like it was just swept. Feels like there was that nugget between the two of them. And yes, and it's like, okay, yes, what Kairos wanted in that moment is what happened, but it feels like conversation between the two of them. I felt like that just kind of dropped off. And again, like I'm not saying I would need that discussion to go a certain way. I guess it's just like that conversation is like the part that would have really made this truly, truly hit for me. Even if it ended the same way, even if she didn't fight at all, even if she didn't like protect or push him out of the way, even if there was just like something between the two of them that would have added her thread to Kyros' part of it, I guess. But maybe Rebecca's moment's still to come. Maybe,
So
maybe, maybe the part. Yeah.
so I think what changes is 2 things. So she knows that Kairos is,
Okay. Cool.
her father, and that he was
Hmm.
the warrior in the Colosseum. Because what she also said was, "You're not my father," and, everybody knows that
Oh, thank you.
that the the gladiator, isn't, like, unrealistic ideal that was made up to aspire to. So, I think it's a fact that Kairos is now back to normal because, like, as the toy soldier, he could not protect Rebecca the way that he wanted to. But now that he's back to normal, Rebecca realizes that this father figure is there for me, and he's a capable warrior. So, like, she doesn't have to fight her own battles anymore because Kairos is back in the picture the way that he was supposed to be. Before, the Tin Soldier wasn't able to provide that for her, but now he can. So I think that's the main distinction is that he's able to protect Rebecca the way that he should be able to. So I kind of feel like that's why the conversation stopped because the situation changed and the relationship changed because their dynamic was different before. I don't know if that works for you if that answered it, but I think that
I don't
that's the
know if
way
it does, and
I'm
I'm
reading
trying to
it.
figure out
Yeah.
why.
I
Yeah.
know, right?
Yeah.
Like I agree with everything you're saying. I'd be curious what people listening feel because like
Yeah.
I agree again. I agree with everything that you're saying, but it does feel like just like there's something left finished here.
Okay, that could be the case, and like Cody said, there could be more to this story. Like this might not
Yeah,
necessarily be
this
the
is true.
end because yeah, there's still more of this arc. I guess I could understand if you feel there's something unresolved because there could be more of the story to it. But for me, this all worked and this all
Yeah.
tracks
Yeah.
from my perception. But I see the points you're trying to make as well. I'm just not sure what could be done differently to resolve that for you guys.
And that's something
And
I'm
it
still
also
exploring too, but I'm happy for you that it does hit me.
Thank you, appreciate
it
that.
also it also could just be from like us doing this podcast, like just the way we've been discussing it in the past. We might have set up our own narrative or what we thought was going to happen through these
Maybe.
conversations, and then didn't come to fruition the way we thought it might have. So like that could also be a factor,
It could be, yeah, because I think you guys have been more vocal about Rebecca wanting to be more active,
right?
in the story, and I've been more okay with the role that she's been given. But that could be part of it as well.
I don't know how connected this is. You changed my mind about Rebecca in the Coliseum. You
Okay.
made me really, really appreciate the moment because she won without fighting.
Mhm. Right.
And that I thought was really clever. I don't feel the same here, and I don't know what the connection is. And I don't want to
No.
play to the point where, but what
Okay.
I'm going to say is that I'm going to probably talk to so many people and ask their thoughts on Rebecca in this fight
Yeah.
after we finish the podcast. I
Okay.
already like
So
5 people I'm probably going to send messages to, like lined up in my head right now.
so do we think that Rebecca is capable of beating Diamante one-on-one?
Mm,
No, but I don't need her to beat him one on one.
Right. But yeah, I don't think she's as capable of a fighter. I mean, again, she's still young too. Kairos has been fighting his whole life, and Rebecca's still young. She's like 16. So I don't think she could beat Diamante in the situation. So I think it's better for her to take the back seat and let her father take over because like she even if they like work together, that also kind of puts her at risk that she might not need to be at. But like she never harmed people in the Coliseum because she didn't want to. So I think it's kind of also that like Kairos was recognizing that element because she wasn't willing to be that fighter in the Coliseum, where she was willing to cut people and like kill people. Where like as a fighter, sometimes like you need to have that drive. So I think he doesn't see Rebecca as actually wanting to fight. And it's just more because she felt she had to. I think it's more of like him taking that burden off of her as well because she doesn't actually want to fight. And I think that's being showcased by the way she was fighting was by not actively fighting. She was trying to avoid the fighting. So she kind of sidestepped it. So I think that's what Kairos is
but
we're also recognizing here.
I think the motive of not killing in the Coliseum was also because it was her fellow gladiators, and she like didn't want to hurt her friends, like the people that she's in the Coliseum with. And here she's fighting Diamante, who I'm assuming she wants to kill or wants to die. So I do think
Yeah,
that changes.
but, I don't think it was just because of the friends, because also in the tournament, she still did the same thing.
This is
The
true,
moment she tried to kill Luffy, she regretted it. Like, she didn't want to kill him, but she felt that she was forced in the situation, but, like, she felt guilty about it. So, again, I don't like, the moment that she could have tried to kill somebody, like, I think she was regretting that she made that decision.
right? But it feels like she didn't have agency. Like she felt forced to do this thing, and now she's kind of finally free with Kyros. I don't
Yeah, so
know.
I would say in a way she is getting agency now because before she was forced to make those decisions, but now she doesn't have to.
Yeah,
She could fight here if she wants to, but I think it's better that she doesn't. But I mean, I think
Okay,
we should probably
I
move on.
decided
But
to
yeah.
you have a final thought, Cody?
yeah. I was gonna say I did decide to look through the chapter again and to be like, okay, let me just focus on the panels where Rebecca was in there, and
Mm,
it went from her like actually legit saying, "I want to kill Diamante," and into the moment where Kyra says, "No, your mother's soul is still in your hands." And so there was a moment. I don't know what I don't like about it. Maybe it just feels abrupt. I don't know. I don't have a good argument for you. You've
fine.
done a very good job stating reasons why you can get behind it. I don't yeah, I don't have an issue with your position. There's just something I don't know. I don't know. If
You
Yeah,
I
get
and
Sean
suckle it
I
out,
here.
like when
I'll
we
get
have
back
different
to it.
opinions. So
Oh
like
yeah. No,
to
I'm
me,
trying to
it's a
just get a
good
better
thing.
sense of
Like,
where mine comes from.
yeah. So I
Yeah.
enjoy
I
when
just
we
want to
have a
show I'm able to
conversation
give a good
about.
disagreement.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. All right, but let's move on because we do have more chapters to cover. Starting with the next part of the cover story, The Solitary Journey of Jinbei, First Son of the Sea, Volume 22. A big mess of apologies, understandings, and reunions. Watsume and the Sea Beast apologize to the humans as the Sea Kitten is reunited with their mother.
This is where
Very
it all
sweet.
started, right?
Yeah, the lost Sea Kitten.
Yeah.
So, how did they get separated? Like, was the mom just kind of like, "Hey, I'm gonna go on a rampage with these beasts. I'm really mad," and they kind of forgot about the kid and just left the kid behind?
Possibly.
Was it just neglect? Or did the Seeking just kinda get swept up in, like, what was going on and then kinda got lost in the shuffle? But at least everybody understands what's going on now. They're all cool, so they're resolving things.
Maybe when the house got yanked, they got separated then.
Could be. Okay, anything else for the cover story?
So these are sea beasts, not Neptunians. Neptunians are significantly bigger, right? Or different,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
yeah.
So
I think this is more like a Momu level,
Right.
creature.
Because they're
So
like pretty
still
small
big.
next to our giant here,
Yeah.
our sea god.
Now, okay, so let's get into a chapter I'm sure Evan's very excited about. chapter 777, Zoro versus Pica. Diamante falls, slamming his head on the post that marks Scarlet's grave. Carlos thanks Robin for protecting Rebecca, unaware that Robin had also used her body as a shield while the spikes landed on her back. Kairos and Rebecca share a moment at Scarlet's grave. Viola reports Kairos' victory to the Riku group at the plateau, leaving only Bellamy, Pica, Treble, and Doflamingo left to defeat. Riku decides to head into town to help the citizens. Zoro tries to pin down Pica's main body, while Pica targets weakened combatants. Pica then taunts Zoro that he's going to target the people on the Royal Plateau, including King Riku and God Usopp. As Zoro rushes to stop Pica, he thinks through the different potential ways he could successfully stop Pica. After going through several options, he settles on option 5, fly through the air and cut him down.
Good choice.
Good plan, Zoro.
We got there.
Yeah, so to kind of wrap up this exchange here with Diamante, pretty brutal, like with the head smacking into the post, but also very poetic how he
Yeah.
falls onto Scarlet's grave.
Poetic justice.
I did enjoy that. Yes.
Yeah.
Very nice.
But is he like paralyzed now? I mean, like the way he hits that post
Again, very nice.
doesn't look good. But yeah, Robin also a real one here, taking the spikes to the back, which she didn't let on, so she had a poker face, so she was staying tough.
Yeah, but I love that about her character. I feel like she's not asking for gratitude or attention. She just like
Right.
quietly does this thing.
Yep.
Because she wanted to. Because she
She's
wanted
happy.
to, not because she wanted the attention or gratification.
Exactly.
She did it because she wanted to do it, so she didn't ask for anything in return. True hero, right there.
Yep. Yeah, very handy that Viola has this ability to keep us informed about like what's going on, as well as the characters. So she's like, here's like the little check in, be like, okay, so here's where we're at. These are who's left. These are the fights you got to resolve. Here we go.
The exposition.
Love the commentary. Yeah. Yeah, we're building towards something.
It's also very unsettling how Pica just showed up at Flower Hill. So he comes out of like this like tower. He looks like a worm, like a stone worm.
Mm-hmm.
And like he's like, Diamante, you're weak. And he kind of scares people there. But then he kind of just kind of leaves. He doesn't really seem to, shake things up and try to like to take him on. I think he's more like focused about like Zoro, but it's just weird that he would even take the time to even like show up there just to like scold Diamante for failing.
Yeah, his ability also seems to give him like a wide range of attention or like oversight. Like, yeah, I think he's able to kind of spy in on things using his ability. Because here he kind of is doing a tactical thing. He's like luring Zoro away, popping up where he needs to.
Yeah, and again, also kind of like this underhanded tactic of being like, let me do something to like distract you. So he's not focusing on just fighting Zoro. He's like, oh, let me go target these other people who are weaker to like make Zoro not have to like run there. So it's not just like, hey, let's like resolve this fight, you and me. He's like, what can I do that's a cheap move to kind of get under his skin or like kind of like, distract him or maybe like take his head out of the game.
But can't pull one over on Zoro. Option 5. Top 4. The first 4 thoughts just won't do. But the 5th one.
Yeah, it's interesting to see Zoro be like actually like thoughtful and like he's actually like trying to be strategic and plan things out. Like it feels like a little bit of like a growth for Zoro.
Not just thinking, evaluating his own thought process.
Yeah.
Big for him.
Big moves.
Yeah, I do like how he kind of like he's like, all right, so if I do this, that's the problem with that one. That won't work. What if I do this? Okay, nope, that's not gonna work. So he kind of runs it down and be like, what are the viable options here? Like, what can I do in this situation? So I like how he's strategic about that and methodical.
I just love that one is, let me use a thing I don't have. Wait, shit, I don't have the thing.
He's trying.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great. It's like, yes.
That's really funny.
Good job, buddy. Really? Yep.
Did it seem weird to you guys when Pica showed up and said, say Zoro, riddle me this? But then he doesn't actually like ask a question. Oh, okay, no, he asked I think after. He's like, okay, do you know who's on the former Royal Plateau? I just kind of feel like the riddle me this felt a little forced. I don't know what he actually said there, but
Yeah, it felt weird as I was reading it, and like it was just delayed enough where I spent so much time thinking about my head that I didn't get to the thing he was asking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, the pacing it did feel very strange there.
It just felt like a little weird to have that in there. I'd be like, "Hey, let's put a little Riddler in there."
I think it
I
harkens
wonder if he
back
was a
to just
pun.
like the Don Quixote like pageantry and like arrogance and like kind of playing with their food thing again. I think,
Yeah. But for me, it's
which
kinda
is
like
cool.
oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I think it's cool how like how juxtaposed that is to like the Straw Hats and how they function. Like with the Don Quixotes, it's all about showing your power and like showing off your power and strength is everything. Where like the Straw Hats like support is equally as like flashy or equally as important as strength.
Yeah,
And we saw that with Robin. You know, we're seeing it with Zoro. Like I think it's a defining difference between our two crews here.
yeah. Yeah, but I mean, this all been kinda consistent too, because we also saw with, like, Gladius earlier, where it was like, he was attacking Robin, who was, like, yeah, trying to get away, but it's like, they're not, like, afraid to attack these other targets as a way to try to get their opponent distracted. Like, they're not above, like, resorting to that. So, like, we're seeing that it's kinda like their MO. Like, a lot of these Don
Right.
Quixote, like, players are doing the same thing.
At any cost. Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I just thought it was like weird though, like here, like the riddle me this thing where it's like he just like asks the question. It's like, do you know who's on the former royal plateau? Instead of like putting in the form of like a riddle to be like what is like on a tower and like smashed or something like that. Like I don't know. It's just like
Sure.
I feel like the phrasing could have just been more of like in a riddle form as opposed to be like, do you know who's over here? Like
Hmm.
I don't know.
I think it's just the fact that like he starts it, then says bite stone, just like interrupts himself. That's like what just throws it off for me.
Yeah, that too.
I think that's literally it.
The bite stone demon horse. Yeah. The
Yeah.
Zoro
bite
interrupting,
stone.
fucking
Yeah.
Zoro
funny.
says demon
Peak
stone. Yeah.
interrupting himself. I'm like, yes, you're out of it, dog.
Maybe he was gonna come up with a riddle and then he got his face cut in half and was like, never mind. I lost it.
Yeah, he gave him a splitting headache, so he lost his concentration.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys got anything else for this one?
Bandana's back. Let's fucking go.
Yep.
Let's go, baby.
That's how you know.
I know, I read the title, I was super hyped, but the next chapter rips.
This is where we get the real fight.
Yep.
Okay, but before we get into that, we have the solitary journey of Jinbei, First Son of the Sea, Volume 23. Oh yeah, we found this in the ruins. The people recovered a poneglyph from the ruins that landed on their town.
Heyo. It's one of those.
Did you guys have that in your bingo card for this cover story?
No, did not have
Not at all.
poneglyph on my cover story bingo card.
That's a cool find.
That's a cool find. And it's Jimbei, so he knows. It's in good hands.
Yeah, well, hopefully, he finds a way to get it to Robin.
Yep. Pretty cool.
Okay, so let's get to chapter 778, tactics number 5. King Lizabello had saved his king punch and plans to use it on Pica, but Zoro stops him and tells him to wait 2 more minutes. Zoro also approaches Orlumbus and requests his help. Riku begins to evacuate the plateau. Pica reaches his massive arm towards the plateau while Orlumbus throws Zoro toward them. Zoro cuts Pica in half and continues slicing the pieces of his main body that it kept moving to, leaving him with nowhere else to go. Pica's main body emerges, but Zoro's able to defeat him. As the leftover chunks begin to fall, King Isabella blows him away with his king punch.
Let's go. My boy. This chapter is pure kinetic energy.
Yeah.
I love it. I also love
Very
Zoro's
cool.
confidence and like in strategy here. Like he's very tactician, commanding King Isabello, to hold off and like wait for the right time. Being like, I got
Yeah.
this. Like you can step in if necessary, but let me take a swing at this first.
It's kind of calling the shots here.
Yeah, for sure. And we get the payoff for the weird bowling scene from last volume.
Yeah.
We're like, what is going on here?
It's like Oda planned that.
Oh, and here it comes. And we see something a little funky happening with Zoro's swords here as he goes into slice Pica, which I picked up on right away. It's explained more in the next chapter, but absolutely incredible. This is
To
the first
elaborate on
time.
that?
Yeah, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but we see Zoro imbuing his swords with hockey here,
Hmm.
which is so sick. We haven't really seen this use of hockey explicitly like this before. So very, very cool.
Yeah.
And boy, is it effective. We see Zoro have Pika and then bisect Pika. This felt like very like Attack on Titan, like Levi, just like going hard. It was so good.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, Zoro just like unleashing here was so satisfying. You
Yeah,
guys know
very
I love
cool.
Zoro, so I
Yeah.
was very, very hyped for this.
I figured you would be.
Yeah, so epic, incredible. This entire fight sequence is real page turner. I was like hooked. Um, yeah, big fan. And hockey in the blades is a sick new ability for Zoro. I'm hyped about that.
Yeah, I'm glad that you picked up on that detail too, because it is very subtle. But
Yeah,
when you point it out, it's it's pretty clear like what's happening. So it's cool that you notice that here.
yeah. I mean, it took me a second because I was looking at the panel. I'm like, is he? Or do his hands have like armament hockey? And then I saw the blade going
The
black, and I was
blade.
like, oh, sick. I was like, oh hell yeah. Does he say hockey in this chapter? Yes. When Pika uses the body armament hockey, he says, that's assuming your hockey's greater than mine. And they go toe
Mm,
to toe.
Mhm.
And he gets diced by our boy. And that panel, the 3,000 worlds panel, and we see all three swords have the black hockey armament.
yep.
Like, yo.
There's also a good point too, because you mentioned like he was asking like, is your hockey stronger than mine? It looks like Pika imbued the armor with hockey as well. So Zoro's hockey was able to cut through Pika's
Right.
hockey, the
Right.
armor.
Yeah. So sick.
So the hockey didn't save him there.
Everyone was saying, when's Zoro gonna cut Diamond? But who knows? Maybe we're even past. No, but like again, like we might be past that. Like maybe it's a question of like what he can cut isn't based on anything tangible, which I think honestly, like I think is really cool. People, and I don't think we really discussed this. People have their opinions on like pre time skip One Piece fights versus post time skip One Piece fights because like we're not really seeing as much stuff like Luffy using water to punch Crocodile or like there's like the Devil Fruit versus Devil Fruit combat. Like there is a lot more like there is some very creative stuff. I feel like like anything involving law, there's a lot of really creative Devil Fruit usage. And Luffy still does use his Devil Fruit in creative ways, but there is much more of this like hockey versus hockey, like not quite DBZ power level, but it's something that can be like at least analogous to that. But I think
Mhm.
like I think this is used the way that it's used in this fight with Zoro, where Zoro is, oh, can I cut this
Yeah.
material? I think it does like just show that it's the fight is being mapped to concept, if that makes sense. And that's
Mm,
what does make post time skip fights work for me. I hope that
yeah.
phrasing makes sense. It's the only way I
Yeah.
can really like try and like put that together.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, that made sense.
Yeah.
I like
But at the
this
same time,
mantra.
what I
There's
do like
nothing I
about
can't cut.
yeah. No, yeah, exactly. Exactly. What the other thing I will say about this fight that I do really like, though, in which is kind of in like that other vein, is that Zoro kind of wins this fight through mindfulness,
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
which also goes in like the Thousand Worlds because like it is in realizing, okay, no, this little shift, okay, he's there. That one, that one, that one, that one, cutting down, 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 down. There is like
Yeah,
the awareness and the fact that he puts him in the air. So like environment is still a factor here. I really do like that, and I feel like I don't know. Sometimes with the discourse I hear in the One Piece fandom, it can be very easy to like minimize a moment or minimize an entire section of the story into one thing, but it's really not.
Mm, yeah.
yeah,
It's still it is still very rich, even when like even though it's fine, I would say it's relatively simple. There is a richness to it, which is neat.
But one thing I also wanted to add is because you were comparing like the pre-time skip, the post-time skip fights, where I feel like a lot of these fights so far, the Straw Hats have been achieving the victories pretty handily. So
mhm,
I think this is
Mhm.
showing like the strength that they've gained in the past few years to show that their efforts wasn't in vain and it was worth
Mhm.
the effort that they put in. So like we're seeing the payoff to the time. This is why they took the time off was to train. So I think if they were getting into situations where they're already struggling, I feel like that would kind of undermine like the time that they took to train. Whereas like after all that work, they're still struggling. I think this kind of shows like the strats are like, they're a serious threat. Like they're like the real deal. So I think this kind of shows that level of skill and strength that they've attained over the last 2 years, and that they're capable fighters, and they're taking on like these pirates who are considered probably some of the strongest in the world now. So
And I think an important distinction to make with that is that they did that alone. That the gap was them learning on their own, not as a team, but as individuals growing their own strength. So like
mm,
here we see Zoro fighting alone, and not only is he showing his strength, but he's showing that he's disciplined, he's methodical, like he's becoming a more refined fighter, and like that's cool to see. And it's like, he's not just Luffy's right hand man following his orders here. He's taking his own initiative and actually instructing like leading others as well.
yeah. And maybe this is part of like what Mihawk taught him was to also be a little bit more like thoughtful about his fighting and like the decisions he makes. So this could be like a little bit of something he learned as well, not just like straight up swordplay, but like to be more tactful as well.
Right. I also want to mention the scale of this chapter. Like Zoro felling this like living colossus is so sick. Like bro's cutting down mountains over here. Like this is awesome. So epic.
Yeah, I really like this panel of the Billionfold World Trichiliocosm. Like this is a really cool panel.
Yeah.
I've also been seeing this art pretty often because it's I'm one of the new cards that I'm running in my Mihawk deck. So
Mm,
I've been seeing this one a lot too. This is
so
exciting to
sick.
see like, oh hey, I just like played that card when I was practicing the deck.
That's fun.
Yes, like you said, Evan, with the scale, like Zoro's barely as big as one of
He's
the
an ant.
bricks on Pica's stomach. Ridiculous. He's an
Yep.
ant. It's
Yeah.
insane.
It makes that ship at the beginning of the time skip look like nothing because like at first like that
Hmm.
looked like impressive feat. This is like throwing that like under the bus.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Amazing.
I feel like we're all just Barto right now.
Yeah. Okay. You guys have anything else on this one?
I'm good.
No, nice chapter.
Such a good chapter.
All right. Moving on to chapter 779, his final battle. The onlookers admire Zoro's strength, leaving the gladiators to wonder why Zoro did not participate in the Coliseum. Suddenly, the Smile Factory begins to explode. Triple sees this go down, but remarks that they have nothing to worry about as long as they have Mancherry. Leo, Cub, and Mancherry reunite with Kairos, realizing he was the captain returned to his regular form. Mancherry offers to heal Kairos, but he tells her to save her powers for those that need it more. Kairos notes that they will still need to defeat Doflamingo before the land can be returned to the Rikus. Usopp is happy to see Zoro when he meets up with him at the former Royal Plateau. He tells him that they can't rest easy while the birdcage is still up. Neil reports another enemy has just fallen, leaving only 2 remaining. Despite Luffy's urging to stop fighting, Bellamy insisted on seeing the fight through to the end. He told Luffy he wanted to be defeated by the only other person he respected. Luffy grants his wish, smashing him with a hockey-infused punch, and defeats him the same way he did 2 years ago. Angry that Doflamingo forced Bellamy into that situation, Luffy roars Doflamingo's name.
So here we get the Mihawk flashback, kind of
Yep.
confirming what we said last
Mhm.
chapter, but also pointing out that is why Mihawk's blade is black, which is so cool. Like
Hmm.
knowing that now, yeah, and also like what that means for Zoro's trajectory is dope.
Yeah. He says, like, this is why I broke his sword 2 years ago, because when we fought before, I broke his sword because I can use hockey. Which kind of shows that, like, Zoro had no chance back then.
Right, so sick.
And, he also says here, no nicks or scratches, so it's also meant to protect his sword.
Right.
So he's not breaking his own blades, but by trying to cut stuff that's, like, too hard.
Miyako
Very
also says
cool.
no liquor till you've mastered this feat. Was no, and I'm trying to remember. Have we seen Zoro drinking since the time skip? Like, did he master it during the time skip, or was this him mastering it?
I think he probably had drinks at Fishman Island, but I don't know for sure. But
Okay.
I feel like he probably mastered it before the time skip. But I think it's him like
Yeah,
applying it
yeah,
on a scale he's never had to before. So it's like, wow, okay, this is what I can do now with the things I've learned.
yeah. I guess I just wonder like what Zoro considers mastering, but yes, I
Hmm.
do see. I can see it lining up that way. Could be overthinking it. Also, now they're just stuck with the giant pair of stone legs in the middle of their fucking island.
Just gotta wait an hour
I feel
for
like no one's
King
talking about this.
Isabella.
What the hell?
King Isabella's
Yeah,
gonna have to do cleanup duty again. So
yeah.
uh,
yeah, then we have here them remarking about how it's like, wow, like this guy wasn't in the tournament, and like this is Garp's grandson's henchman. Like,
right.
and I love seeing the factory explode. And this is also very cathartic
Hmm.
for the Tentatas because like the factory's been like suffering for them. They've been like forced into labor, and now that they know the truth, like they can take out this factory in a way that like it's also kind of like helping with that trauma that they've had to endure.
Right. Yeah, very rewarding.
It's
Things
like
are
a
looking
symbol of
up.
them like reclaiming their freedom.
Yeah.
I always forget how freakishly strong they are for like 5 seconds. Then they remind me.
But the common consensus seems to be that they can't rest easy until Doflamingo's been defeated,
But things are looking up. Officers are falling. Factories are being blown up.
and they're also looking up the birdcage.
Yep. Get a little Sabo snippet here.
Yep.
Remember that he's still around. I hope this is some foreshadowing of a future appearance. I feel like it's got to be.
Think so?
Oh yeah, big time.
I'll see what's up with these prisoners he's setting free.
I wonder if he's looking for new recruits.
Mm,
Could be.
could be. I mean,
Oh,
these
I also just
people's city
noticed.
was just destroyed, and I don't think they have any lack of resentment for the system.
That's why they're there. I
Yeah.
also just noticed that Koala's transponder snail has like the same design as Dragon's face tattoo.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, huh?
Yep.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's neat.
Yeah, and what do you guys think of the Bellamy fight?
Hmm.
It's tragic. Bellamy paying the cost for believing in the wrong dream.
Yeah,
And I think this is a difficult moment for Luffy, who wants him to pivot, but he's committed, just like Luffy,
yeah,
just to the wrong dream.
yeah. Do you guys like the way that this plays out?
I
I
like
mean, no.
Bellamy's line in his.
Hey,
Go ahead,
sorry, go
Cody.
ahead, Cody.
No, Evan go. Evan's good.
No, I mean, just to continue what I was saying, like I wanted Bellamy to have that realization, but he never did. So that was disappointing. But go ahead, Cody.
Yeah, I agree. It's very tragic. It's also to a degree frustrating that he couldn't do that because I want to see Bellamy gets changed for the better, or to to end up in a better circumstance. But I do like his internal monologue where he says, "What I want is to have the end be at the hands of the only other man I ever respected." I
High
think
praise.
the self awareness there, that
Yeah,
and the fact that it's him atoning on his own terms, that I do really like. If it was just, oh
agreed.
no, I'm still following Doflamingo, if it was just him still doing the wrong thing, it wouldn't work.
Right.
But the fact that like, no, this is like Belly, it might not be a character progression in the way that we see it or want it for him, but it is still, I guess, a character realization, which I do like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Storytelling wise, I still hate it for my boy.
I personally love the way
Dumbass.
that Luffy just beats him the same way he did before. Like, I feel like
Yeah.
it wouldn't be as impactful if it wasn't just like, but this time he uses like a hockey infused punch. But like
Yeah.
the fact he's just like, Bellamy's just doing this thing, like hopping around, and Luffy's just like, all right, you asked for it, and just knocks him down to the ground again, the same exact way.
Hmm.
Because Luffy could do it back then without like observation hockey or armament hockey. But both characters have definitely progressed since then. But this kind of just shows that Luffy was staying like above Bellamy. Like Bellamy never had a chance. But like Cody was saying, like I do love that Bellamy had that insight to be like, he reflected on his decisions and he made his decision. He's sticking to it, but he also respects Luffy and the fact that he puts Luffy on like the same level as Doflamingo. He's like, I respect you, like at the same level. Like that. That's a long way from what he thought about Luffy back in Jaya and how he actively disrespected him and mocked him, and basically saw him as trash and like what he did to him. But the fact that Bellamy sees Luffy now where he is compared to what he thought of him before, like that's a drastic difference. And again, Bellamy didn't have a chance against Luffy, but I like that he tried, and like, this is kind of like his moment to be like, if I can beat you, then that's also like it would be an actual achievement because like I respect you so much. Like I can actually go toe to toe with you. That like cool. I'm strong. So it's also like a way to prove to himself that he's like a strong pirate. But at the end of the day, like he's just not there, and he still has like a ways to go. And Luffy kind of puts him in his place. He doesn't want to, but Luffy also respects him in a way. And is like, I'm going to respect your decision. I'm going to defeat you, and at least like give you that to show you like I'm taking you like as a serious opponent. And he does, see it through instead of being like, oh, you're too weak for me. I'm not going to even like do the honor of fighting you.
Yeah. I respect your dream as long as it doesn't get in the way of my dream.
Yeah. But yeah, he's like, I see something more in you, Bellamy. Like you can do better, and like he wants more for Bellamy. So he's kind of sad to see Bellamy isn't striving to be more than just like Doflamingo's lackey. He's like, yeah, you can do better than that. Come on, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then at the end, Doflamingo says, "Oh, Luffy's
Nope.
gonna be surprised to see Law's dead."
Nope. Nope.
Nope.
Nope.
Nope.
Nope. Nope.
Mm-mm.
Nope. Nope.
Mm-mm.
No.
Nope.
No. 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 No.
I mean, he's got to be telling the truth, right?
That panel never existed. Nope. Nope. Nope.
He's just posturing.
Okay, so you guys ready to move on to
Good
the next part
podcast,
of the cover
guys.
story?
No fifth chapter. Amazing. This was sick. Have a good night. I'll see you. I'll see you for the next one.
Yeah.
Now we gotta see it through to the end. We gotta be like Bellamy.
Yeah.
He's
Because it
right.
worked out
Great
so well for
analogy.
him.
Yep.
All right. Well, first we have the cover story. So let's do the cover story. The solitary journey of Jinbei, first on the sea, volume 24, sank the ruins down next to the port. The ruins have been placed back in the water, and the sea beasts happily settle back in.
That fort transports pretty well. It's like one of those little aquarium haunted houses or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no like foundation to it. It's just like, yep, pick it up, move it around.
Yep.
That's how it got down here in the first place. Just like slid right into the ocean. But it's cute
Looks
seeing
like
all the
there's a
animals.
koala. Looks like there's a koala sea beast now.
Yep.
And a sheep.
Sheep. It's like
I
a
love
pup,
the sheep.
pig.
Cute.
Yeah, very cute. Everybody's happy. Okay, let's get to the last chapter for the episode. Chapter 780, The Heart Curse. Doflamingo in trouble, mock Law, who is defeated, telling him he wasted his extended life trying to get revenge for Rocinante. Before he kills Law, he attempts to convince him to use the Op fruit to grant him immortality since he's going to die here anyway. He offers to give Law anything he desires in exchange. He agrees to the deal, telling Doflamingo to revive Corazon and then kiss the butt of every citizen of Dressrosa. Doflamingo is not amused. Law tells Doflamingo that Luffy is going to win and he'll never get his hands on Caesar again. Doflamingo begins shooting Law, asking him why he bothers to wear the Heart Coat and name his crew the Heart Pirates, if he won't even take the Heart Throne. Luffy bursts onto the roof, attempting to smash Doflamingo with a Gum Gum elephant gun, but is stopped by Doflamingo's spiderweb strings. Luffy next tries a Gum Gum Hawk Gatling, to which Doflamingo counters by trapping him with Break White Threads. Luffy then notices Law on the ground. Doflamingo tells him he's dead, but Luffy doesn't believe him. Doflamingo's ready to end things. He begins shrinking the bird cage and tells Luffy to get ready for a 2-on-1 battle.
Oh, guys, our boy's in rough shape.
What a great series. I'll always remember One Piece as having one of the saddest endings of anything I've ever read. Good job, Oda.
Oh, he's looking worse
Been
for
fun.
wear.
Nah, Law's good. Look, he looks fine. He's okay.
Great.
Oof. I love Dofi's threat. Within moments, you'll be dead beyond all doubt. I feel like it's almost Oda kind of poking fun at himself here. Because we
Okay,
know
but what
that
do we
no
always
one
say?
dies. No one dies in One Piece except for in flashbacks. And here, Dofi's like, you'll be dead. Beyond all doubt.
Okay, but no. Oda never shows the body. And that's where he gets the fake out from, right?
Yeah.
The body's pretty fucking plain to see here.
Yep.
It's not. I'm sorry to yell. It just doesn't sit well with me.
Doesn't sit well.
Lays pretty fucking well on the ground though. I'm gonna leave.
Hey, there's still man Sherry.
Good.
Oh, that's true.
That's a prediction.
So
David's calling it here.
Calling it.
You think Manchester's have to work overtime?
Yeah, you might have to cry 2 tears for this one. I also so during the combat, or no, sorry, I don't want to jump ahead. There's a lot to unpack here.
Okay. Yeah. So, what do you guys think of this exchange with Doflamingo and Law?
I love Law being Law. He's like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. I agree. And then he flips them off. Love it.
Yeah, like obviously, like gives him things he's not able to do or would not be willing to do.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Doflamingo's had taken that deal.
Yeah, it felt perfectly on brand.
Yeah, very rebellious of Law
Bring him
to
right
be
back.
like right in the face of Doflamingo to be like, yeah, I'm not in position to defeat you right now, but I'm still not gonna give you the satisfaction of like, saying that you won and use my powers on you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Staring death in the face
good point.
and flipping it off. Because we see Dofi classic execution here. This is how we know this is his MO. And this is
Yeah.
how he kills people.
Also, how he killed Rosante.
Yeah. Brutal.
Cody, did you have something?
I was just gonna say, like, this scene just brought me right back to the human auction house when he flipped Kid off.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And like, I think that always, I just always love like just like that pure rebelliousness of Law. The fact that it's like, I don't care who you fucking are.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
In the Kid's case, it was just like grandstanding and just like, we're both rivals. But this time, it really is like, no, you're a fucking hypocrite, and I'm not gonna give in to what you're saying,
Yep.
and I am gonna call you out on your bullshit. Which is just, I feel like the more evolved version of that, which just makes me love him even more. Deepens my love for him.
Yeah.
It's pretty great.
And he also pushes, he knows the right buttons to push here, saying that like the Straw Hat crew has performed countless miracles on their way here. He knows that's like the prophecy being fulfilled and Dofi's fears like coming to fruition. So yeah, classic Law.
Yeah, it feels like even in this moment, Law feels like he backed the right horse. Like I feel like he, even though it was like a roundabout way, I feel like he's like it was a good decision to make the alliance with the Straw Hat. Even though like along the way it was like, okay, this isn't going according to plan. It's like, okay, like Luffy's not even like doing what we're supposed to be doing. But at the end of the day, like things did go like what they were trying to accomplish was being accomplished, and they did more along the way. So like Law's kind of being like a believer now. He's like, I saw firsthand what the Straw Hats can do, and he's like, yeah, I'm actually kind of like on their side. Like, I have faith in them now too. Before it was like it was convenient for him, but now he's like, wow, okay, that actually worked out pretty well, except his position. But yeah, so yeah, a little bit of respect to Luffy and his crew. Which this clearly gets under Doflamingo's skin because he pulls the trigger in the middle of while talking and being like how dare you wear like the Corazon jacket and try to take the heart symbol for yourself when like you wouldn't even be like my Corazon, like I was saving that position for you, and like you disrespect me. You disrespect me by like using that symbol and like not you doing it like under my name.
Yeah.
Mine.
Well, again, we get, the will carried from Corazon through Law here.
Yeah.
And Dofi feels that because Dofi even is like, his last words are like, Law, Corazon, your curse ends here.
Mm-hmm.
So he felt the will of Corazon in this moment.
So he sees him as like ending that. He's like what he sees as like a foolish revenge. He's like, yeah, that was for nothing. So that's gonna end right here. I don't have to deal with you guys anymore. But Luffy finally rejoins the fight and looks like he's ready to try to
Hell
take on
yeah.
Doflamingo.
I read this as a feigned punch. I don't think he connects with the spider web. I think he throws the elephant gun and then snags the web with his other hand, retracts the big arm and slips through the web, and then goes gun gatling. Because there's a panel after the spider web panel at the bottom, like on the bottom of that page, you see like the fist hasn't made contact with the web yet, and you see his other hand reach out and grab the web.
Yeah, he snags it. Yep.
So I think we see some like tactics here from Luffy, like feigning the punch. Dofi throws up the big defense, and then he slips through the gap
Yeah.
and then throws Gun Gun Gatling from within the defense.
Yeah, he's got like that little zip panel.
Yeah,
He's like
that's
flying
how I
through
read
the.
it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I see.
Pretty sick.
I thought it was Luffy just being like improvisational in the moment. I thought it was like him actually throwing in for the spider web and then realizing, oh, I have an opening now. Let me bring it back so I can go that way. I thought it was him just having like being able to pivot really well, but that's also cool.
Mm.
Well, it could be that. Either way, you see him, thinking on his feet and get slipping through the fence there, pretty smooth. Because he's fought him a few times now. He's picking up on his abilities and how to fight him.
But yeah, unfortunately, Doflamingo still seems to be prepared for all of
Yeah.
this. But then he sees Law's blood on the ground when he accidentally slips in it. Yeah, so Luffy doesn't believe that Law's dead. Doflamingo is trying to convince him that he is, but yeah, Luffy's not buying it.
This the white break that Dofi uses as an attack. I'm picturing that as like a wave of strings.
Yeah, I
yeah.
think it's kind of just like a big swirl, like a bunch of strings. It does kind of, I think, give like the sense of like water almost.
Yeah, like almost like a
Wall
giant
of
cloth.
linguine.
Yeah,
Oh, that does remind me because when we were talking about the Doflamingo clones, because I was going back and when I was editing one of the episodes, how I was having a hard time getting past like the clones, and I mentioned something like, "What does he like have different color strings?" But then I thought about it. I'm like, I mean, duh, it does make sense he would have different colored strings. Like, there's nothing stating that he could only do like invisible strings. It's just like that's just what we saw. So it
Right.
always looked like he was like flying and stuff like that. But like when I thought about, it, I'm like, okay, well, yeah, I mean, it does make sense he would have like different color strings, and that did kind of like the more I thought about it, the more I started to buy into the clone thing, where it's like if he did make it in different colors, like he could maybe like also do like little details and stuff. Like I do think there's like some logistic behind it, where it's kind of like making it talk and stuff like that, making it sound like it's talking, and like how far away can he be from the puppet. But for the most part, I feel like I kind of came around, and as I thought about it more, I was like, okay, I can kind of see it. It kind of makes more sense. I kind of came around.
yeah,
It's just hacks that he's a 3D printer. That like
yeah,
he has like
yeah. I think that helps.
yeah.
Yeah,
but
it's
the
basically 3D
mind
I can believe it. I'm
control.
just like that's fucking bullshit, bro.
Yeah.
The mind control too, you're right, Evan. Yes.
Right, but then also like being able to like imbibe these clones with like some sort of consciousness kind of ties to that a little bit.
Oh, he 3D printed a computer chip into their brain so they can start to act on their own. Who programmed it, of course.
Brilliant.
5G fruit.
So then, yeah, Doflamingo's clearly losing his patience, where he's like starting to shrink the birdcage. So just having the birdcage alone was bad, but now it's getting to the point where it's an active threat, where it's going to start closing in on people. So it's going to start causing damage, and they're going to have even less space to work with. So Doflamingo's now kind of really trying to force like an end game here, and he doesn't want things to drag out any further than they have to.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. You think that's like an endgame posture, and he's like, tightening his grip, like tightening the control, or his powers reaching a limit, and like he's becoming desperate because he's starting to reach a limit. I mean,
I
all of
think
his
it's
officers have
intentional.
fallen at this point. You think it's an intentional, tightening the grip?
I think there's like less to lose, and he's willing to sacrifice more people because like the more it closes in, like there's more likelihood that people are going to die and destroy things.
Yeah,
So yeah, I think this is like a power move where he's like, I have control, and I'm going to take away more of like your freedom. I'm going to trap you guys in a smaller space. I'm going to make it harder to deal with this thing.
yeah. Have we seen
I
a
will say
capacity to his power? Like when he was making those clones, like did he ever say he had like a limit or anything like that?
nope.
Wow, bananas.
Evan, I will say your idea fits with the pageantry though. I do like that aspect of it a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah. We'll see.
we'll see.
Yeah, that's where this part of the episode is gonna be left off.
Whew, spicy.
Do you guys have any final thoughts you wanted to get out about this chapter or for the volume so far?
Oh, this one leaves on such a cliffhanger. I feel like we're around the cusp of the final battle, and Law, his future seems very up in the air. I'm on the edge of my seat. I might read some tonight. I gotta know. I gotta know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very excited for the next half of the volume. I'm not gonna say why,
Ooh,
but I think when
ooh.
when you read it, you are going to understand. I wouldn't read the chapter titles. I would just keep going from here.
Okay.
Uh, but I'm very hyped for the next part of the volume.
Looks like it ends with a little bit of a flashback here.
I wonder who's that that's gonna be for.
I wonder who that's gonna be for.
Maybe it's a Diamante flashback where we've all been begging
Yeah,
for.
the one we've been waiting for.
Yeah.
And finally, bro.
How about you, Cody? Any other thoughts?
I mean, it's crazy because like when I say I'm caught up, I mean I'm caught up with everything until Law dies. So I haven't even I haven't read these chapters, so I don't know what to expect.
Don't even
Spoilers. We don't
I
know
don't
he
know
say
what I
it.
dies.
want out of
Don't
it.
even say it. Don't even joke.
It's literally stayed in the fucking chapter. Dofi says he's dead without a shadow of a doubt. Like, why would I've had no reason to read past it. I don't know what's gonna happen. I didn't bother the chapter because I was like, it's not worth it's life without Law is not worth living. So like, why the fuck do I care what comes next? So I don't know. Maybe you can convince me to like One Piece again. Hopefully.
Oh, I think the next set
If you
of
don't see me next
chapters will
week,
get
it's 'cause I
there.
just fucking gave up.
Now we'll see you next week. After you read these next few chapters, you're gonna be like, I'm back in, back in.
I better. I would have better make this worth my while.
Even
Uh,
Dofi was like, Oda is not fooling around here. I'm going to kill you without a doubt.
and there's
Your
like a
body
little
will be
That's
visibly
not my
dead
body.
on the
little
panel of
honest
this
note.
manga.
Yeah, he's very serious. He's not joking this time. But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed these few chapters, but a lot of it is just kind of like wrapping up some of the fights. It's been
Yep.
satisfying, but for the most part, it's just been a little bit of getting closer to the the final confrontation. And this arc's been kind of building and building, so it's fun to see a lot of these other plot points have now been addressed. So like Viola's done a good job of like going us now. It's like, okay, so we've done this, now we've done this, so now we gotta do this. Yeah, I think we're getting at the stage where a lot of the arc is getting wrapped up, and now I can start focusing on how is it gonna finish? Like what's the rest of this arc gonna look like? So for right now, we leave off in this like this note that is not very hopeful. But yeah, we'll see how things turn around hopefully as we keep going. But for now, that will conclude this week's episode of the We Are Reading One Piece podcast. You can find this episode wherever podcasts are found at We Reading One Piece podcast.buzzsprout.com or on the YouTube channel at We Reading One Piece. This is a spoiler free channel up to you where we have recorded the podcast. So if you're new to the series, you can visit the channel there. You can also find me and this podcast on my YouTube channel at Pirate King Codex for more One Piece content. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback, you can reach us at weareadingonepiece@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from listeners, so if you're enjoying the show or if you have any suggestions on how we can make it better, let us know. Next episode, we'll be finishing volume 78, Champion of Evil. I've been Joel, and I've been joined by Evan
Thanks for listening.
and Cody.
R.I.P. Law. Hope you're giving people the finger up in heaven.
All right, well, be sure to bring along all the hopes and dreams, and we'll see you on the next episode.